to know something, that something has to be a fact. Certainty is not a out of context dogmatic absolute. You can be 100% certain and be wrong. That is not a violation of your certainty. Certainty is an epistemological assessment. It says all the reasons that I have, and I have enough, point in one direction. This is going to happen, or this is a fact. This is the case. All my evidence is in that direction. It's not in doubt. It'd be irrational to doubt it. So it's a statement about what it's rational to commit yourself to, what still has grounds for doubt, what has a lot of grounds for doubt, but has some evidence in favor. And on the other side, what is barely possible, but unlikely, and what has no evidence and therefore is to be dismissed. So there's a scale from zero evidence to 100% evidence, 100% of what's required to accept it. And when you say I'm certain, you're saying I have all the evidence I need. I don't need to look any further. I can act without doubt, without hesitation on this because there's sufficient and undiluted, uncontradicted evidence in its favor. So it's an epistemological, as opposed to what? Well, knowing, to know something, that something has to be a fact. So I can say I was certain, but I was wrong. But you can't say I knew it, but I was wrong. I knew the ball would fall, but it didn't. No, you didn't know it would fall, because to know it means to grasp a fact. To be certain means it's passed the tests. So it's a different kind of assessment. Now, how do I know this? What's my grounds for saying all this? Well, ask yourself, why is there a need for a concept of certainty? What facts of reality gives rise to the need for a concept of certainty that's epistemological rather than knowledge and truth, which have a metaphysical component and an epistemological component. And it's the fact that you have to go by the knowledge you have. You need an assessment. You need to grade various competing hypotheses. That's not why we have the concept knowledge. So there are facts of reality that require that you assess evidence. And that's why certainty is the term that's traditionally been used inconsistently for that, and it should be consistently used for that. So no, just imagine you can't act. Imagine you've been paralyzed from birth. Now, you probably couldn't even have sensory perception, but imagine that you could. You watch. The ball's dropped 100 times, released 100 times, and it falls. That wouldn't be sufficient. That would be enough to say, well, it can fall. Under certain conditions, it will fall, but I don't know what will happen next time. But that's not what you have. What you have is all the knowledge since you learned to crawl, which all points in that direction. And when you say it's going to fall, I'm certain, you're not saying, I know somehow that there's no interfering factor. Saying, unless there's some hidden, secret, interfering factor, which I have no reason to hypothesize, it's going to fall. And that is correct.
I mean, it was like any woman seeing this person, Dagny, would want to be her.